Already, guys. So this is the next vertical. We call this as the high value SKU vertical. I mean, it's all expensive products that are shipped and delivered to homes, right? Shipped to where place where it's used. For example, appliances, right? This is all white glove delivery. Flat screen TVs, washers, refrigerators, dryers, um, you know, and there is also fancy high-end furnitures that are shipped direct to consumers, right? So if you are a warehouse manager that ships high-value SKU, if you're a warehouse director, if you're a vice president of operations, if you're a network manager, if you're an industrial engineer, if you're a continuous improvement engineer, if you're a continuous improvement manager that ship such products, then you want to watch this in detail, right? So your business is really as a warehouse manager, you ship high value consumer products, right? The following are some examples, flat screen TVs, washer, dryer, refrigerator, fancy furniture, right? Your delivery guys might even make delivery of these products at the buyer's homes, right? The manufacturer might also give you specific delivery instructions, that you have to follow very strictly. It's very important to follow those steps, because if any mistake is made, the customer will not be able to enjoy the benefits from the warranty offered by the manufacturer. So you have to be extremely careful here. You might also ship these products direct to consumers, and these are very expensive SKUs, sometimes fragile, so a lot of care needs to be taken while transporting these products, right? That's why the labeling is very important, right? All the different kinds of labeling, the do not tilt, do not fragile, do not stack, even sometimes put a do not stack cone on the pallet. You got your regular warehousing job, right? Part of this, so you're responsible for manager leads and coordinates all aspects of the distribution process within the supply chain network. You got to make sure you do the site planning, execution, and communication of all daily clerical and operational processes, including labor planning and driver management, OSHA, FDA and DOT compliance, general administrative duties, employee hiring, payroll, customer service responsibilities, human resources administration, product functionality, checks and cleaning, warehouse functions, servant leadership, load planning, routing, carrier management, collection, reporting of KPI data. All that you still have to do, right? Sometimes you're responsible for the P&L of the site as well, right? And if there is any type of FDA regulated SKUs, you got to pay attention to the FDA rules and regulations, because any documentation that you receive related to that item, you have to keep it. You have to maintain it. It could be anywhere from 3 to 7 to 12 years, right? So that's something to keep in mind. And you might offer value-added services, maybe not. Assembly, special packaging, price ticketing may not be applicable here. And there may be even gift orders, right? And e-commerce fulfillment could be also part of this. Cross-border transportation, Mexico and Canada. Actually, our customer Didon, they ship all this fancy furniture to the Barbados and Caribbean islands. So there is a little bit of a cross-border transportation that's involved in all kinds of commercial invoice, export documentation that you may have to submit. Also keep in mind, right? You have a pretty strong supply chain community here. Your supply chain community comprises of people that you do business with. Usually, it's made of all these people, right? Manufacturers that manufacture products, carriers, trucking companies, ocean carriers, rail carriers, air carriers, multimodal, ocean, land, rail, air, third-party logistics service providers, vendors that you buy your products from, cross-dock facility operators, consolidation facility operators. I don't think not all of those might be applicable, but you never know, because it depends on how you ship. Sometimes you are just making direct delivery from your warehouse to the consumers, people that ordered these products. So you might not go through all these LTL terminals. Parcel carriers maybe yes. Delivery companies, yes, you will deal with delivery companies a lot here. Freight forwarders, freight brokers, right? Just it's very important to keep in mind that you will work with all these people on a regular basis, right? So build and maintain professional relationships, right? While shipping products, moving products, mistakes do happen. Sometimes it is theirs, sometimes it's yours. Whatever it is, work with your partners, right? Keep proof in LoadProof to demonstrate that you did your job right. So you can have, professional conversation and articulate your position in a professional way, right? It's okay to say in a very professional, gentle manner, hey, it's not fair for us to pay for mistakes. That's not ours. Here is a proof in the form of pictures, right? However, do not burn bridges. Everybody is working very hard to make it for themselves. So also, people move on and change roles very quickly in this industry. So the same person could have been a different role, and you might face them in a completely different side. And in 3PL, people change like crazy. So always build and maintain professional relationships. Do not burn bridges. So when you're working with such a community supply, having LoadProof and pictures to prove that you did your job right gives you a solid ground to stand on, right? When something happens to your shipment. So your challenge is you're losing dollars due to freight claims. You're losing money on damages, right? Your customers are submitting damage claims to you. You're losing money on rejected loads. Now you want to keep that money in your pockets or your customers' pockets, right? So you started taking photos of, photos in your, digital camera, or, some of your people started taking photos in their own personal, smartphones. But the process had many drawbacks, right? They take photos in a device, either a digital camera or a smartphone. Then you have to save the photos somewhere in a Google Drive or shared folder. Then manually have to search the photos to find the right ones when there are any questions. Right? It's very cumbersome to copy the photos from the camera to the Google Drive or shared drive. It's time consuming to organize photos for future reference. I mean, we got clerical people that are spending all day, 2-3 clerical people, right? No backup for the photos. What if your computer suddenly crashed, right? No visibility across the supply chain. Other operators in the supply chain cannot see the pictures. Your vendors, customers, carriers, lumpers, personnel at the cross-dock facility, insurance companies cannot see them, right? So those are the drawbacks of having pictures there, right? So what is a freight claim? So you shipped your product through a carrier to your customer. The carrier failed to deliver the product in a perfect manner. It was not delivered in the same condition as it left you. It could be the carrier, it could be the delivery company, it could be the last mile delivery company, right? And often, these carriers insure these transportation moves. So if there is a problem or there is an act of God or, for example, thunderstorm or a tornado or any natural disaster that damages your shipment, you can file a claim to the carrier and then get compensated, right? And we are actually a partner with Mercury Gate. Basically, a LoadProof is integrated with Mercury Gate MyEasy Claims. So we have pictures in LoadProof, and you're already using MyEasy Claim. You can automatically pull the pictures from LoadProof into MyEasy Claim and submit those pictures to the carrier along with your freight claim. Right? That makes getting compensated by the carrier easier because these shipments are insured. Often the insurance companies get involved, and you know what happens when the insurance company is involved, right? You got to submit all kinds of proof to prove that the shipment left your facility in perfect condition. That is where LoadProof comes in, right? Using LoadProof, you can exactly do that. You can take thousands of pictures, and within no time, you can find those pictures and share them with whoever you need to share them with, right? And this could get really complicated if you did not pay for transportation, right? I mean, I think in this case, when it is a personal delivery, I think you're going to pay for transportation. So, I wouldn't worry about not paying for transportation. So I would just go ahead and remove this one here. So, what is a damage claim, right? Damage claim is, submitted by a customer to you when the product you shipped did not arrive in a good condition, where the customer is doing extra work to get the product to work. This could potentially result in an automatic deduction in the invoice you submitted to your customer. Meaning, if you submit an invoice for $10,000, the customer is going to pay only $9,000, and the remaining they'll quote the damage claim as the reason for the automatic deduction, right? So that's where you can show pictures from LoadProof to demonstrate that you did your job correctly and it's not your fault, right? If it's a carrier mistake, you can submit a freight claim to the carrier to, if you paid for the carrier, or if your customer paid, you have to tell your customer to get paid fully on the invoice. You have to, tell that to your customer and so you can get fully paid on the invoice. So what is a rejected load? A rejected load is, I don't think that is even applicable here because that usually happens in the food or even 3PL. So different scenarios to take pictures of, outbound loading and shipping, right? Inbound receiving, inbound damages when you're receiving product from the OEM or, manufacturer, whoever it is. Outbound trailer seals, out trailer condition, trailer cleanliness, documents if there is any FDA related. I don't think the DEA thing is applicable here. Any FDA approvals that is needed, right? Bills of lading, proof of delivery, parcel manifest, smaller, and then Gemba walks to make sure your warehouse is running optimally, right? Gemba is a Japanese word meaning the actual place. In lean practices, the Gemba refers to the place where value is created. such as the shop floor in manufacturing, the operating room in a hospital, just for example. Right? A popular approach in companies who implement lean principles called Gemba Box, which denote the action of going to see the actual process, understand the work, ask questions, and learning from those who do the work. Right? It's an opportunity for management and support staff to break away from their day-to-day tasks to walk the floor of their workplace to identify wasteful activities. The objective is to understand the value stream and its problems rather than review results or make superficial comments from their office or conference room. Right, trailer numbers, right? Thermometer readings. The thermometer readings it's not applicable here because you're not shipping any food products here. So proof of compliant load. So you did pretty good packing, you did pretty good labeling, stacking, stretch wrapping, all kinds of things, right? Using wrapper with the right gauge, right? If it's an LTL shipment, you got to do, use a stronger, stretch wrap. It's an FTL, maybe slightly less. Benefits, cost savings, obviously, because this process is so much better. Labor reduction, no need to manage all these photos. Show that the product was shipped outbound damage-free, no damages, capture damages in the inbound product. Prove that the correct quantity was shipped, no overages, no shortages. You get to, create paper trail, supply chain visibility and transparency across multiple parties. And you can even send this to the customers that are going to, receive that, hey, the shipment left perfectly, left out DC perfectly. So, look for this one, right? Significantly improved customer satisfaction, significantly improved relationship with customers. You're not, this is probably not, this makes sense. You're not eating the cost yourself in order to not lose a customer, right? So that's like, in order to retain the customer, you're like, some damage happens and you're absorbing the cost. All right, hey, we'll replace it for free. 95% customer complaint reduction, compliance, overage, shortage, damage, proof of damage claim, proof for shortage or no shortage. All this, you can provide from taking pictures and, from LoadProof because you took pictures of shipment just before it left the facility, right? 75% cost and labor spend are understanding problems after they happen. So you're not having continuous meetings with your people to figure out, hey, what happened? Why did it happen? Who dropped the ball? How are you going to make sure this does not happen again, right? Additional customer results, right? Customer satisfaction through self-service portal. The DEA is not applicable here. Documentation cost savings, 20K, trailer damage, fine reduction. You're not getting blamed for the trailer damage because you're going to take pictures if you see any. International shipment, sometimes, international shipment, for example, this customer they ship it to, from their DC in Greenville, North Carolina, they're shipping Greensboro, North Carolina, Greensboro, North Carolina, they're shipping to customers in Barbados, Caribbean, islands. So theirs does go through cargo containers that go international, right? So, they very often they would bounce around and move so many times in the ships, get damaged very frequently by this time they reach. So that's why it makes sense to take pictures before you load them on the container. So 20% savings in freight claims. That's another benefit. So hopefully this is helpful, and this is followed by a video. This is a Kenco White Glove, experience that will the testimonial that we have. So this is, not a huge volume that goes through this vertical, but still a pretty, good vertical to learn about. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video. Let us know if you have any comments, observations. We'll be happy to, provide any clarifications or set up a demo for you guys with LoadProof. I think we'll go from there. We'll see you in the next video. Thank you.